Here's a look at our radar and satellite picture. We'll go back to Hulk and She-Hulk in a moment, but time for your weather forecast. Lots of cold air coming in across. Look at this, the snow line. Okay, so how you read this map where you see the pink, that is mixed precipitation. The yellows and greens are rain, and then the blues are snow. So mixed precipitation could be anything from freezing rain to a rain-snow mix to even sleet, which are basically ice pellets that come down. But the snow line getting into Florida, pretty impressive to see the snow on the beaches of the Florida Panhandle, Biloxi, Gulfport, Mississippi. Those areas saw snow on the beaches, on the Gulf Coast. Pretty incredible stuff. Now out here on the West Coast, we're not dealing with any storm systems. We're just dealing with Storm Blocker 5000. That is a huge ridge of high pressure that has modified itself from time to time, but ultimately has continued to block storm systems up and away from us and keep us dry pretty much since, well, day one of 2025. Now we do have kind of a complex system here with a couple areas of low pressure below it, but they're really not doing anything to give us some rain, and the ridge is still essentially the big ticket item here. So as we head through the next couple of days, the ridge will continue to actually strengthen, which will allow for even warmer temperatures aloft. So tomorrow will be warmer than today, and then Thursday will be warmer than tomorrow before we start to cool down. Now that cool down is interesting because the ridge does let a system in, but not directly from the west. In fact, it's just going to sneak in from the backside. Starting on Friday, we'll start to see temperatures cool down a little bit. And then as this, what we call an inside slider, rolls down out of the Pacific Northwest and into California, it actually looks like it's going to have some pretty cold air aloft. So we're going to cool down quite a bit. Temperatures on Saturday and Sunday will be lucky to get out of the low 50s. It's going to be quite a bit colder. We hit 70s today in some areas, so get ready for colder weather this weekend. We'll probably have some wind, and we might be able to get some rain out of it. And the reason is, even though we don't have a lot of moisture to work with, it's going to be so cold aloft that it will start to make the air rise. The air will want to rise into this very cold air mass coming in. And even with a little bit of moisture, that should be enough to make some clouds, and with that, we should be able to make some rain showers. Now, a couple other things of interest with this: it will be cold enough for snow in our mountains if this does transpire the way it looks like it may. So this looks like a Saturday to potentially Sunday event. The precipitation will be more likely the farther east you live within our viewing area. So San Benito County, you have the best shot. And then, you know, even in Santa Cruz, you could still see a shower or two. Monterey Peninsula could still see a shower or two, but ultimately the farther inland, and it depends on really where this low sets up. I mean, if it sets up offshore, it might change things a little bit, so I'll watch that for you. But Saturday, potentially into Sunday, we can see some light showers, some snow in the mountains. Could be a pretty interesting scenario. We're watching it pretty closely. One thing I can tell you though, even if we don't get rain, it's going to cool down a lot as we head into the weekend. Beyond that though, Storm Blocker 5000 returns for like the first full week of February. So it doesn't look good for rain beyond that. We'll keep an eye on things for you, but it's not looking great. So we're going to try and get as much as we can out of it this weekend. All right, here's our look at our future track overnight tonight. A few thin high clouds will actually kind of fade away by the time we get to dawn. Light offshore breezes in the morning, cold to start. We're going to talk about how cold it's going to be in just a moment. But the Elkhorn Slough reopens tomorrow, so if you want a lunchtime walk out there, take a look at the boardwalks and see what kind of wildlife's going on. You'll see mostly sunny skies, temperatures in the mid-60s with a light north, maybe northeasterly breeze. Should be a beautiful day out there for you if you're headed out to do that. Rest of us will have a beautiful day as well if you like warm January weather, because highs are expected to be about 10 degrees above normal for most locations. We'll have a bit of a sea breeze on the south side of the bay in the afternoon, but that is about it. And not much in the way of cloud cover. Get a few clouds in the morning, otherwise sunny for the rest of the day. Let's talk temperatures. It's going to be cold overnight. We have frost and freeze alerts in place, including a freeze warning for our southern valleys, which starts at midnight and goes to 10 a.m. Temperatures will certainly be cold enough for a hard freeze. We've had these temperatures before in these locations, but it's just somewhat persistent. But the rest of the viewing area pretty much in a frost advisory. That includes the Santa Cruz Mountains. And take a look how cool it's going to be in the Santa Cruz Mountains tonight. How about 29 Boulder Creek, Ben Lomond, 28 in Felton, Scotts Valley, 31 degrees. Contrast that to the top of the hill. 50 for a low at the summit, 50 for a low in Bonnie Doon. You drive up the hill, Empire Grade, the thermometer is just going to go crazy on your car. So there is warm air aloft, but that cold, dry air will settle in the valleys. Highs back into the low 70s in some cases tomorrow afternoon. Patchy frost even possible down to the coast. On the east shore of the bay, we're going to get into the low to mid 30s overnight. Highs back in the low 70s, maybe upper 60s to low 70s. Northern valleys, upper 20s to low 30s overnight as well, but back into the low 70s. On over to the peninsula, upper 30s to low 40s for your lows tomorrow morning. Highs in the mid 60s, maybe even squeeze out a 70 there in Carmel. And then down south, Well, there are the cold spots, low 20s in San Antonio Valley, Bradley, King City at 30, highs back in the low to mid 70s tomorrow. Even Carmel Valley in the mid 70s tomorrow afternoon. It should be a gorgeous afternoon. 7-day forecast for Coastal City showing we're a couple of degrees warmer on Thursday. Then temperatures start to drop, and then it's much cooler this weekend. We're watching for shower chances Saturday and Sunday. Beyond that, looks like drier weather again, probably some cold mornings next week as well. Inland areas also a couple of degrees warmer on Thursday, dropping into the weekend. Showery, breezy, maybe some mountain snow. Cold mornings, maybe mild afternoons again next week.